If the engineer is doing too much, yeah, he would mess up your whole song. He can definitely. That's why I said it. You have to learn because every song is different. You can't go recording every song or mixing every song, assuming the way we did the last one, we're gonna do it the same. It's not the same song. It's not. You have to literally. It's like one day you might want to try Chinese. Next day you might want to try Jamaican food. Next day you might want to try African food. But they're all different food. Yeah, they all might have rice and meat, but they're all different. So you have to approach that with that mindset that this is a different song. So let me not put too much on this one. Let me just keep it subtle. And this one, even though you did well, we might just need to add a little bit more. That's where as an engineer, you have to take your ego out and listen to the record and say, okay, what are you telling me to do? Do you want me to do more? Do you want me to do less? Or how we sounding so far? So it's 50-50 on both ends. You can fuck up a good mix and you can give me a shitty recording.
Welcome back to Chocolate Espresso Podcast. I'm your host, Thomas Newair, or Flocho Fancy. Never gonna give that line up. Yeah, it's the first, second, third, fourth day of the year. I don't even know. It's the first recording of the year. I got my main man. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Man, you already know who it is, man. It's your boy Graffiti, lab rat, audio engineer, producer, beat maker, songwriter, entrepreneur. I know people use that word a lot, but I really live by those words. So yeah, man, we here with Chocolate Espresso, man. Starting off the year 2025. Let's go.
That's crazy, man. This ain't your first time in the studio either, is it?
Man, I in the booth every day.
Man,
I live in the studio.
Hey, you ain't shy against these microphones, are you?
Nah, you see, they're flowing like butter right now. So this is how I do it.
Man, tell me though, what's the life of an engineer like that?
Well, everybody's life is different. I'm looking at this camera.
Yeah, that one right there.
So everybody's life is different. So I'm just gonna base it on my personal life and as far as an engineer. A typical day for me: wake up, meditate, try to get my mind clear. Probably get a little. I do this routine where I get a little bit of ginger and ground ginger, and turmeric, and a little bit of just hot water and some honey, just to get some inflammation in my body. Clear it out and stuff like that. Go to the gym. Usually I used to listen to music when I work out, but now I listen to a lot of audiobooks just because my ears is how I make my money. So I need to make sure I'm not fatiguing it, overusing it, or doing too many things. So I try to make sure that I'm listening to like an audiobook at a lower level. And I tend to notice I focus more because I did want to indulge and get back into reading, and me listening to audio is probably the best way to do it. From there, go home, grab breakfast. If I have a session or if I have a mix ready, prepare for that, whether it's at the house or at the major studios that I work at, or better yet, just either that or making a beat. So that's just a typical day, but the overall, it's unpredictable. It all depends on what I'm doing that particular day, whether I'm working with the artist or I'm just working on their songs or I'm doing something outside of music. So yeah.
You said something that was pretty spot on though. A little super short story. When I was younger, I was like maybe like 18, 19. I was working my current job and I had knee pads. So I always took a knee to work on what I had to work on because it was pretty low to the ground. Ended up going to I can't remember where I was, either a gas station or like Home Depot or something. But this old lady walked up to me and she had to be like 70-ish, you can tell. And she was like, she walked up, tapped my shoulder, and she was like, I'm so happy to see a young man like you protecting yourself with the knee pads. Because she's like, I'm a gardener. I've been gardening for like 30 plus years. My knees and backs are destroyed. I've never wore any type of protection because, it's dirt, but then you knee in rocks and all kinds of stuff. And I just destroyed my knees and my back. And she's like, I'm glad I see you walking around with the tools because, it starts there. It's the same thing with your ears. It's like, okay, everybody wants to walk around with ear pods and Samsung earbuds and
blasting
headphones. And it's like, it's so loud. Listen, I'm guilty of it. You know what I'm saying? Like in my headphones, they got that bass knob on it. So I want to hear that bass. I want to feel it. Man, people don't realize you just destroy your hearing. You got to protect it. The younger you are, you need to protect it because you're not going to get it back. At least not right now. There's nothing into it.
No, especially as you get older, because in this society and time, everything is loud. Like even when we're talking about, there's this thing they call love. It's pretty much like the level of how where at a certain level you shouldn't pass, a certain threshold you shouldn't pass, because after that you're taught to not just fatigue your ears, but you can damage your ears, especially with the smaller buzz headphones, because they're going deeper into your headphones. It's not like the regular back in the days AirPod or the cheap, what's the one of them cheapo headphones that we used to have where you just cover the ears, and as soon as you break one, you can take one out of the ear. We don't have those anymore. We don't have that luxury anymore. So now everything is just embedded in your ears, and it's just like, loudness doesn't mean it's good. It just actually means you're destroying your shit. But for now, it feels good. It's everybody's there for the small guilty pleasures and shit. So
hey, to each their own. You don't want to hear. You want to be
No.
What? I can't hear out of this ear. You got talking to that.
And then
that's
it's like
you.
you're gonna be talking with the new earbuds when you 60 headphones, when you have to put those things in before you hear people, because now you can hear shit. You need something else to help you get it clear the sound of what people say. So yeah.
Fun fact of the next question. I was royally surprised when I found out that some of the deaf people, the earbuds that they use are Bluetooth, so they can listen to music at the same time. And I was like, shouldn't you be focusing on just trying to hear what's around you? But you know what? Hey, you know what? You want to be a little bougie? Be bougie. Yeah, no harm, no foul.
They got to, man. They got to, man. Music is a feeling, man. You want to feel it all the way. So I guess that's why people want it to feel like it's coming from their body. They have to hear it through their ears. Some weird shit.
Hey, so. How long you been engineering?
Man, I started, I want to say 2018. 2018 is when I started, I went from GarageBand, on the phone, there's an app there. I used to be an artist, so I used to couldn't get into the studio at the time, but I wanted to get in the habit of practicing, because one thing I knew that I was doing was when I was recording at these major studios, booking 4 hours, either I come prepared or I'm not ready, and I end up wasting money and have to re-record the same song. So what I would use the app and I would record to just get a demo or a rough estimate of what it would sound like when I get into the big studio. So I started doing that just for myself. Then I found like somewhat of a passion, and I started recording other people. I brought my own laptop. I had a Logic Pro I bought for $200 at the time. And then I went from then to buying Pro Tools, standard studio DAW, digital audio workstation is what they call it. And I just started recording other people, and I just started falling in love with that process. And I was just like, man, I think I might want to do this more than being an artist, because for one, I'm broke. I can't be out here trying to spend money on this, spend money on that, because this shit is expensive. Especially, I don't know if it's more expensive now, but when I was coming up, because people didn't have their hands on all the technical aspects of things and the plugins and stuff, it was very expensive back then. So you had to come prepared, or you were definitely wasting money. So yeah, about since 2018. So what is that? 2025 now? What is that? 9 years?
9 years.
9 years. Yeah.
It's wild to me, because there's a lot of industries out there where it's just expensive, no matter what. Some people say oh, it's a hobby. You can't put a price on a hobby if you love it. You can't put a price on passion. It's like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Shut up. Yes, you can. Sit down. Stop lying. Because it's there's a different, especially depending on what your hobby is or whatever you're trying to do. There are some professional golfers out there. I'll tell you, I'm not gonna swing with that $100 golf club. No. There's a huge difference between that and that $1,000 golf club.
Stop
lying to yourself.
Especially in technology. I know we're very advanced now with AI and all this shit, but it's definitely a difference when it comes to putting money towards your passion. Because once your bills start to add up and you're not making enough money for that passion, you start to scratch your head and say, maybe I should take a different route and do something else. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's real, man. You kind of answered the question, but why did you transfer over to engineering?
Simply, man. Honestly, I was broke. I was a broke ass artist. I'm gonna be the first to say that. I know a lot of them try to come up as rich. They're broke. I was a broke artist, man. I had 3 jobs. I was doing Uber on the weekends, when I went on the weekends, but on the side, and I was working at LA Fitness as my primary, and then I was working at another job called Delcon. And then when that didn't work out, I was working at a job when I moved here to Minnesota called, what's the name of that job that I was doing, man? Damn, it's like in a CNA type of job. I forgot the name of the company.
Oh, like caretaker type stuff.
So yeah. I was doing all those, and I still wasn't able to fund my music career. So I just got frustrated with it, man. It just felt like I was just always burning out, or always hit a threshold that it's okay. The music is the music is great, the product is good, but for one, there's nobody buying into it, and then it's like I don't have the marketing aspect to push it out. I don't have the funds to support it because it takes money to make money. Like you literally, I was just pouring so much in the creative aspect that I forgot that the most important part was marketing. And then when I got to the marketing, it's just seemed like I didn't have enough money after that. So I just found a different passion because I was getting ready to give up on it until during the midst of all that, I was recording other people. And I said, you know what? I think I actually like this better. I'm still able to make music. And then it's like, it gave me the opportunity to learn more of the behind the scenes of what goes on, how to record, mixing and all that, et cetera, because most artists just focus on, want to be in front of the scenes, want to be in front of the camera, but a lot of people don't know that the people behind them is what makes them who they are. So, yeah.
Nah, that's real, man. You know what? There's a famous saying, where would we be without our broke artists? It's real, though. I mean, but you know what, though? Some people, they produce the best when they broke.
Oh yeah.
You know, because some hunger. People they fiending for it. You know what I'm saying? Like they gotta have it. You know, they gotta reach that. And some people, they lose themselves in that, and other people, man, they fall so deep into it they just can't get out. And other people, man, they make it and they just forget themselves because now you there. You know what's next? What's the next plan? You feel me? Like I don't even know, man. I'm not much of an artist in that aspect, so I don't know. But I always thought, you know, why work 3 jobs when you can work 1 or 2? And why work 2 when you can work the 1?
Yeah. One of them to fund your career, the other one to pay the bill, and the other one just to have something to save. But that's even impossible to do these days. So I don't know.
That's real, man. This economy is crazy. But I mean, would you ever take a chance at going back to being an artist?
Would I take a chance on an artist, or would I take a chance on me being an artist?
You being an artist.
I would have to be in a position where the financial aspect is not longer a burden, or there's not longer a problem, so I say. And then I would have to have the connections, because it takes team to make this shit work. And one-man army is impossible. You'll forever be stuck at just doing everything by yourself, or you're going to do what I call a quick burnout. You're going to burn out every time because you're doing too much. So it takes a team. I learned that I used to ask myself when I was an artist that why does it take 10 people? Because I used to look at the credits of each song. Like, why does it take 10 people to write one song? Because each person has probably just one great idea that's going to make you say, ooh, that's perfect for that spot right there. Versus, of course, I can write a song all by myself, but are you going to like everything that I say? You're probably going to like one part of it. So those 10 people you're literally nitpicking of, oh yeah, that's great. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. Boom. And then that's what makes a great song. So if once I get into, answer your question, just so once I get in that position, yeah. But for now, no. I'm actually loving where I'm at. I love being an engineer. It's just more, I'm still involved in music. And if anything, I feel like I'm more in depth with it now because I'm learning the ins and outs about it versus just the creative aspect of things only, you know? So, yeah.
So, I mean, now knowing what you know and floating around in different areas in the music industry, I mean, would you take a chance on an artist then?
Yeah and no. The reason why I say no first is because most artists are very disloyal, man. Especially once you like get them to where they feel like they to the next level, so to say. They're just waiting for the big fish to come swip them up and take them up to whatever. Now I understand that big fish is only gonna be around until you're hot. Then when you're not hot, guess who you're coming back to? The person that you start with. So most artists are not loyal. So it would have to take an artist that I see that is beyond dedicated, and most importantly, I see them investing in themselves. It's one of those things. I see you doing it. Okay, let me add to your plate instead of, oh, you come save me. Come pour in my plate. Come pour in my cup, so to say. You know, it's just like. In today's economy, no. No.
You gotta ride with me, man. You can't just abandon ship. No. All of a sudden, it's here or never.
Yeah, so it's 50-50, man. It's 50-50, honestly. But right now, it's probably more 70-30. So yeah, hell no to the answer. Most importantly, but
so I got an interesting question too, right? I was thinking about this. There's 2 different kind of engineers, right? There's robots and then there's producers. I mean, how you feel, man? You gotta work with me on this one because you already know how I feel about artificial intelligence. So you know what I mean? Come on.
Well, in this industry, yeah, there are definitely different types of engineers. It all depends on the artist, because you have some artists that don't want you to do nothing but literally be a robot. And when I say that, they already know what they want. They know how they sound it to sound like. They know every aspect of the song. All they need you to do is really just push the button, press 3, record them, and mix it. That's it. And they don't want you to. They don't want your inputs. They don't want your ideas. They don't want you to interpret what you think is best suitable, even though you might be correct. You have to learn how to be a robot. I'm just oh, you like that? Oh, you like that? Boom, boom, down. And then you have some that, hey, what do you think? How does that sound to you? Hey, you think that sound good? Should I retake that? I just feel like it's not there. That's engineering. That's producing. Because now you're asking for my inputs and you want me to help you facilitate to take that song to the next level. Or I can be a robot and just, you like that? You like that? You like that? Got you. Done. So it depends on the artist and the vibe in the room. So yeah.
Do you think there's a place for both though?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're paying me to do a job. So I want to be able to execute the job into your liking, how you want it to sound. Because there are so many times where I've done songs and mixed the songs. I'm like, I really like it that route, but that's not my song. And a lot of engineers don't know how to take their ego or take their head out of their ass out of this. Like, yo, bro, they're paying you for this. Do what they tell you to do. If they say they want the vocals flying in there, fly it in there. It doesn't matter whether you think it sounds good or not. They're paying you for a service. Fly it in there. And then if you don't want people to know that you did the mix, just tell them, hey, don't credit me for this shit. This is your shit.
Yeah, I'll take the royalties on the back end.
Yeah, don't credit me for this shit. Just pay me up for that. You can go with the rest. So there's room for both, you know what I'm saying? But the problem is, can you execute the job properly in each aspect? So, yeah.
I mean, you touched on it a little bit because I feel like that is a very healthy habit to have. Is like, okay, it's a job, right?
Yeah.
I can feel how I feel, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna get that check. I'm gonna go home. I'm once I walk out that door, work is back there. I'm going home.
It's done.
What are some other healthy habits you can talk about?
Healthy habits that I'm practicing recently is to, I want to say just to be more, I don't know if this is right, a little bit more selfish with my time. Because I noticed that people tend to take advantage of your time and shit. So it's like I'm being a little bit more selfish with my time, and whether I'm responding back tomorrow morning or whether I'm responding back right away or whether I'm going above and beyond. I tend to do that a lot because I used to be an artist. A lot of the trauma or love that I show artists is because I used to be in their shoes. I didn't come from the technical aspect of things. So there's certain things that I lack, but because I came from the creative aspect and the artist aspect, I tend to be more lenient with them and try to help them out. Even though I felt like when I was coming up as an artist, I paid my dues. I paid my fees. I did what I had to do, whatever the cost. But healthy habit is just being a little bit more selfish. That's one thing for sure. There's plenty more that I'm trying to do, but if I have to name one, it's just be a little more selfish with my time and how I'm dealing with people. So yeah.
So is that your new policy?
Hell yeah. Hell yes. 2025, hell yeah. I am selfish. I don't have a heart. No, I'm just playing. I still have a heart. I'm just more selfish. I'm a little bit more, I have to be, because I've showed so much love, and it showed me that people don't give a fuck, or should I say, excuse me, can we cuss on here?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
People don't care what you got going on in your life. Everybody's dealing with something, so it's like, why not look out for yourself? You know, everybody else doing the same. You looking out for them while they're looking out for them. It's like, who's getting burnt here? So that's definitely one of my new policies, to be a little more selfish with my time and selfish with just overall who I'm involving in anything and showing love to, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah.
I think there is no one who's of healthy mind. I want to preface of healthy mind that would say being a little bit selfish is actually okay.
It's perfect. Michael Jordan said it the best. If you want to be successful or you want to be rich, I mean, come on, man. Rich people are selfish as fuck. Let's be real, man. What rich person you don't know that's a bit selfish? You have to be a little bit self-centered, because that's the only way it's going to work. You have to look out for your company. You have to look out for yourself, because the consumer is not. They're looking out for themselves. They're trying to see how much they can get from you, how much they can take from you. And it's just like, why not just be a little bit selfish? It's okay, because at the end of the day, if it all falls down on who?
You.
Exactly. So.
Man, oh my God. I every time I drive a lot, And I can see the selfishness. So many people, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, just the people that go on the freeway and we all going like 50, 60, and you want to hop on going like 35. It's like, just take the streets. It's like, what? Or you'll assume that you're just supposed to slow down or speed up and make sure they have a gap. It's like, nah, man. Legally, you realize you're merging. It's your responsibility to make sure that you can merge onto the. I don't have to slow down or speed up. I can go the same speed I was going. But if you end up on the emergency shoulder or whatever, that's on you. But who wants to get their car hit and be? I get it.
Come on, man.
But again, it's like I see so many selfish people out there. So many different. I mean, again, there's a healthy selfishness, and then there's just you're
and mine is more of a healthy because I'm looking out for me now. I was looking out for you before, but it's like I have to look out for me now because I see that you're looking out for yourself. It's only fair. We playing 50-50. I need my own 50% off. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the way I look at it. So it's healthy, man. I know the word selfish and healthy, it's like, oh, how does that correlate with each other? It does a lot. People don't realize it. If you actually time to yourself, because if you don't do these things, you're going to explode.
You're going to burn out.
You're going to explode. Literally. And then it's like, damn, where did that anger come from? Where did that go from? I've never seen that side of him. Yeah, because you didn't see what the hell I was doing behind the scenes trying to make sure this shit move on straight. So you have to be.
That's real, man. I think they call those people pleasers.
Yep.
And again, you could be a nice person and still be labeled a people pleaser. Or you could just be somebody who just were taken advantage of so bad that you don't realize you've been people pleasing this whole time. Now you didn't burnt out. Now you just, now I gotta be selfish.
And a lot of it has to do with like trauma response and how you were born and how you were raised and everything. And you know, especially in the African culture, there's certain things that you can't say or do, and it's just I don't agree with it. Especially now that I'm older and I'm seeing it, but it kind of reflects on your life and where you at, and then you realize, well, wait a minute, bro, what the fuck is going on? I gotta look out for myself, so it's okay.
So do you feel like there's a difference between working with an amateur and a pro, and does selfishness a little bit playing a little, like you can tell like, oh, this person?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. Man, it's crazy because the amateurs, the people that I consider just starting music or not professionals, obviously you can tell with how they're recording and stuff, they're the ones that pay me whatever I ask for with no problem. Sometimes they even overextend and give me more than what I ask them because I do such a great job with helping them achieving their goals. The pros or the people that I consider talented are the ones that always want a deal or a discount or wants me to do it for the low.
That's the rich people, man. You know, I got to keep my money as much as possible.
When I say pros, I'm talking about as far as in talented. I'm not talking about as in the people itself. I'm talking about as far as the ones that I feel like, oh, you're very talented, but you're trying to play me on my money. Those are the ones that I'm just like, man, that's one of the reasons why the selfishness fall in play. Okay, I have to look out for myself because at the end of the day, you're getting what you want out of me, but I'm not getting what I want. I'm cutting off my ends.
Exactly. I earn for, yeah.
It's only right. And then the ones that are not talented have hey, how much? No problem. Boom, 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 boom. I'm just like, I guess that's just a healthy balance though. You don't have no talent, but they got the money. He got talent, he ain't got no money. So it's just like, I'm trying to find a healthy medium, but man, I just got to be selfish all the way around, man. That's just my new word for 2025. So take it or leave it.
Man, I don't blame any self-contractor, like small businesses. Again, another short story. I remember this one time I needed to reprogram something on my Tahoe. And it was a year that Chevy switched over to like a system that tested the ethanol content to like it just guessed what the ethanol content, and then over the time, like a span of time, it just keeps upping it because the car gets older and it needs more. And long story short, the dealership wanted like $200 to basically plug in a scan tool, hit a program, and wait 15 minutes. $200 to plug in a scan tool. That was it. I mean, I was like, nah, I'm not paying that. So I started calling around to see if anybody had this like adapter piece that you need for the car, and if the scan tool would be able to do it. One person said, I'll do it for 150. I'm like, that's too much for 15 minutes of your time. And really, it's like 2 minutes of you playing around with the thing and then leaving it to go do what it does and walk away. So I'm like, I'm not paying more than that. I finally find this shop in Everett Grove Heights, and I kid you not, at this point, I didn't call like 8 different shops. All said the same thing, and I got to a motion. I'm like, hey, do you have a scan tool? It's a dumb question, but yeah, I got a scan tool. Okay, do you have Candy, which is an acronym for the adapter you need? They said, yeah. And I was like, okay, would you be able to reprogram this one thing? Because some shops refuse to touch anything with the ECM. They said, yeah, we can do that. And I was like, well, how much? And they said $80. I'm like, at this point, it's the cheapest I'm going to get it. Fine, I'll be there in like 10 minutes. I show up, I'm talking to the guy behind the counter, and I apologize. Because at that point, I realized I had a little bit of an attitude. Because I'm like, man, I didn't call so many different people. They have the tool, they won't do it.
Yeah.
They said they'll do it. I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. You know, if I came across in some sort of way, I didn't mean to do that. Blah, 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 blah. And he was like, okay. And then he was like, he said, okay, go ahead and put your card on the thing. I paid. It was $50. Well, I look behind the guy. There's a sign. You like an a-hole. We're gonna charge you a $30 a-hole fee. He dropped that $30 a-hole fee but you know what though? I apologize.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I recognized I had an attitude. I didn't, you know, and I had to pay. I was gonna pay for it. You know, I didn't know any better over the phone. I couldn't see that sign over the phone. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Sometimes some people don't realize. You know, like you're gonna pay the price.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you got it, you pay. If you don't, you don't. Then don't bother. You know, don't bother somebody. But that small company made it clear. These are our prices. You gonna pay it or not?
Yeah.
I don't need your business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's always a cheaper route, but cheaper doesn't always mean. Most of the time, definitely doesn't mean better because you're gonna have more problems down the line. So might as well just pay for the quality, man. And you know it's quality too. That's the reason why you're trying to reap the benefits of your trying to negotiate for a lower price. But it's just like, and I understand that's how business works. You have to negotiate and meet halfway in the middle. But if my line, or if this is the middle line, but I'm way more towards your way, that's not a happy medium. That's your side right there. You know, so it's you get what you pay for. That's the best way to put it.
I love the saying, everybody got a bottom line.
Hey man. Hey, take it or leave it, man.
What's the difference between creative aspect and technical aspect?
Creative aspect and technical aspect. Creative, I tell, from coming from a creative background, the most important thing that I've noticed about creativity is the feeling. The ultimate goal is the feeling. You know, the technical aspect of things is more so the compression, the EQ, or what I got to do to make your vocals sound or manipulate your vocals to sound like this. But a lot of the artists don't know shit about the technical aspect. They don't even know how to interpret it. You have to, and I say this because I kind of feel like I used to look at it as a disadvantage, but now it's an advantage for me because I understand the terminologies of what they're trying to say. I tend to hit that line versus a typical engineer that comes from a technical aspect that he needs the terminologies in order for him to be able to execute whatever the artist's vision is. A lot of the guys don't know, make my vocal sound like it's coming from heaven. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, you want your vocals very wet and wide and stuff like that. You want a lot of reverb and ambience in your vocals. I got you. But you say that to engineer that comes from the technical background or went to school for this stuff, he 9 times out of 10 he's not gonna know what the hell you're talking about. So that's the difference right there. The feeling is the ultimate goal. Can you execute? Can you create that feeling, which is the most important part when we listen to music? You know, you don't know shit about no threshold, no compression, no EQ, none. You don't even know what the fuck that shit is. You just know how it makes you feel. That's the ultimate goal in the creative aspect. And the technical aspect is just the basic fundamentals of how to get around and execute the job, essentially. So,
you know, it's like even in my career field, you know, I have my job. I was trained to do this. I know this very well, right? As I should. That's my job. That doesn't mean I can expand on other parts of it that affect this that I was trained to do, because you go somewhere, somebody might have a question, or maybe you need to articulate something. You shouldn't have to say, I don't know, sorry. You should be able to someone answer that question. Or if you can't, you be like, listen, I know so much, you know, unfortunately I can look into it, or you might have to ask this other person. But it's the same thing if you're in I feel like it should be the same thing in the music industry. Like if you're going to be sitting there talking into a microphone and maybe you have an idea how you want it to sound, you should know the terminology. You should know at least something about how it can go into it, because like you said, if you say I want to sound like I'm coming from outer space, I'm looking at you like, what does that even mean, bro? Like, you trying to sound like T-Pain? Like, what? Come on.
A lot of it, man. It's just, and that's where the creative aspect or being an artist, at least for me, comes in, because that used to be my mindset as well. I didn't understand what the fuck. I don't know. But I knew what I was talking about. I actually was crazy. My former engineer, the guy that used to record me, I'm the one that pretty much, I won't say I nurtured him. I'm the one that directed him on how to understand the artist's vision, because all he knew was the technical aspect of shit. And if you're not speaking in those terms, he's not understanding, and it was crazy. It took an artist to understand my vision. I remember because I was collaborating with an artist at the time, and I told him exactly. I'm like, bro, I don't know what it is, but I want it like sound like this and do like this. He said, oh, you like your voice like The Weeknd. You like that shit big and wet and ambient. I'm like, yeah. I think that's it. And then when he did, I'm like, yeah, that's what I was talking about. But talking about somebody else that went to school for this shit for what? How many years? Was it Full Sail? He didn't know shit I was talking about. Mm-hmm. So that's when I was like, so definitely need to learn the basic fundamentals and get the technical aspect in, because that's where I'm lacking at. But me being from the artist background is actually a benefit versus than a disadvantage against me. So
that's real. I feel like that should be across the board. If you work in a position or doing something, or maybe it's a hobby, it doesn't matter. But if you can't understand, like even if you playing like RC cars or something like that, if you can't understand how to replace the wheel in the thing, you just like driving it. What's the whole point? I haven't met I never met any NASCAR driver, but from the documentaries I've watched, all of them know some sort of technical background in the vehicle, because they're like, hey, I was trying to turn, and it felt like the rear, whatever, the differential wasn't, like they can point out something. They know what that is. They can point, because how would they sound like, oh, I don't know, the little wobbly thingy didn't work right. Mm-hmm. They look at them like, what does that even mean? Nobody understands you, man. Don't even get me started.
It's almost like they want you to read their mind. And it could be a hard job, because sometimes they're not interpreting it right, or they're not even getting close to what they're saying. And it's almost like, let's come back to this. Let's put this one to the side and we'll come back to it. If that way I can get it. Or better yet, send me a reference. What is a reference? Okay, send me an example of a song like this, but it has to be identical. You can't tell me you want to sound like Michael Jackson, but your vocals coming out like 50 Cent. That's way two different things. I'm not that. I tell people all the time, I'm not a magician. I don't work magic over here. I might do some things that make you say, how the fuck you fix that? But
you said this ain't Photoshop.
Nah.
We can't do that.
Nah, man. It's crazy you said that. I had a client that used to call that. She called it Photoshop because she comes from a different background too. But she didn't, perfect example, didn't understand the terminologies. And she said, hey, so you photoshopping my vocals? I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yep. Because I understand what you mean by that. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
That's real. Do you ever mix business with pleasure?
Never. Maybe when I used to be an artist, but now that I'm on this side of the field, and your reputation is everything. I say that a lot. I've said that in the video before. Your reputation is everything. This industry is not as big as you think. People think this industry, oh man, it's just one big colossal, one big gigantic, everybody's so far apart. No, it's like this. Everybody knows everybody. So if you're known as the engineer that makes business with pleasure, you're going to get the wrong type of clientele, and which down the road it doesn't do nothing but hurt you. So no, it's the worst idea. I would never do that.
And you know what? I'm gonna keep my lip. I'm
You know somebody? Tell that guy he better quit. Tell that guy he better quit. It never works out, man. It just never works out because, especially if it's one of those things where you're, either you're exchanging instead of exchanging knowledge. Say maybe you show me something, I'll show you something. That's a different thing. But if it's you got to give me something. Like okay, for females, most females have to come in there either with their boyfriends or their manager, some type of male figure for them to feel secure, because man, niggas is shady out here. Mm-hmm. They be trying to get some for the low. Hey, I'll give you a song if you give me some. And it's just like, once your reputation started known as that type of guy, for one, you ain't making no money. And even if the song hit, if you didn't do your business, you're gonna lose out too. So it's just always best to just keep everything black and white. You get what you want, I get what I want, everybody's happy. And then you're known as the guy, because I've had clients that literally told me, no weird vibes. I feel very safe around. Oh my God, thank you so much. Because they've been around people where it's just you can tell they're getting high with the clients and they're trying to, it's like, yo bro, keep it professional so you can last longer in this business. So.
You know what, they ain't taking it serious.
No.
Yeah, they're playing games, so.
Nah, never.
Where do you feel like you lack in audio?
Technical aspect. Once again, because I didn't come from that background. You know, I didn't go to school for this. I did take a course online, but that was more on like mixing, which is also technical as well. But I'm talking more like dealing with the wires, you know, routing and stuff like that. I'm way much better, and I've learned a lot, and I understand the terminologies, but there's levels to this shit, and there's some in-depth information that I still don't know yet. So the technical aspect is where I'm definitely lacking. Well, I won't say definitely lacking, it's where I'm lacking still. So
I don't blame you. A lot of this stuff is beyond complicated, especially when you start talking about like OG equipment too. And some people are like, no, turn that knob right there. Yeah, there we go. What did that even mean? What did that knob even do? It's hard to explain. Just know that fixed. No, explain it.
And it was so crazy. It's like they'll turn the knob or would do something, but unless they exaggerate on the knob, you don't really understand what it's doing. And you're just like, I don't really hear no difference because your ears are not trained to. So, but in their ears, they're literally just 1 dB or just one push of a button. And just like, oh yeah, that's it. You're just like, I don't really hear no difference. It sounds the same to me. Mm-hmm. It's just like, no, now it's crazy because I can hear it. I'm just like, oh shit. Literally one thing can change your whole mix. Meaning one push of a button or one compression can literally change your whole song if you push it the wrong way. Especially if you feel like it's already there. Move it one time, it's just like, oh. And now if you're talking about the vintage stuff or the analog gears, which is like the outboard equipment that you see, those things are machines. You get what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes when you run your vocals or you process stuff through it, they're not going to sound the same when you come back the next day because it's a machine. So that means it's been running, it's been hot, it's been sitting there. So it's gone, the transformers and all the stuff that's in there, the longer it's staying on, the better it sounds. It's almost like it's warm. It's like driving a car. Right now, you started on, that motherfucker gonna be like, yeah, give me a second, bro. I got to warm up before you can really drive out here. As soon as it's warm, it's driving, it's accelerating, it's driving smooth. But if you just started up and started driving, it might take a second just to even accelerate. The same thing with that. It's a machine. So it's not going to sound the way it sounded before unless you kept it on with the same time frame, time length, and literally left the button and the settings the way you left it before. If not, it's you're dealing with a machine. And a lot of people don't know that because now everything is digital plug-in, so it's sound universal all the way around. So, you know.
That's why they say, man, he in the zone. Oh, he got it. You know, there it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I'm telling you, 4 or 5 years ago, all this shit was so foreign to me. My ears was like, I'm just gonna create the feeling, which worked for me. But now it's like, okay, now I gotta know this because now 2 against 1 it's better, you know. So
would you say a lot of this is what helped sharpen your blade when you came into work?
Hell yeah. I would say mixing, because now I consider myself, I'm a producer as far as in vocals and songwriting and helping align song and vocal, because that's producers more than one thing. But I'm also a beat maker now. I'm making beats. I'm really in there now. Like maybe not like a lot of the top guys, because I still feel like I have a lot that I need to keep sharpening. But learning sound and learning how things are pairing together is actually what I've noticed and made my mix a lot better lately, especially as of recently. Like because I was in Atlanta, when I couldn't get into the big studio, all I had was my laptop. So I had to I was literally routing everything the way I would through the analog gear or the outboard gear, the equipment that you see on the outside. I was literally doing it the same way on my computer. And I was like, whoa. And then it's like me making the beats, putting the sound together, making sure certain things are not clashing, finding the sweet part. So between learning the technical aspect and making beats, I've definitely took my mix from here to where I'm hearing things I've never heard before. I'm just like, wow. So yeah. Man.
Hey, you know what? There's one time I saw somebody, and I don't know too much about the industry because that's not my whole thing, you know. But I was like, oh, look, a microphone. I can hear my voice. It's like it's a microphone. Like they all do the same thing, right? Pick up your audio, you good, right? No, different microphones do different stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So being told, no, that is a crappy microphone, and I'm like, but I can hear myself just fine. Like, no, that is a crappy microphone, but it's a microphone they use if you wanted to sing, a cappella or whatever. Mm-hmm. No, I'm telling you, there's better microphones out there that would do way better than that crappy Walmart buy microphone. I'm like, okay, well, I don't hear the difference. And then they plug in a better microphone. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I knew it.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm telling you.
But from my, from doing the podcast and working at a videography studio and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I can somewhat surmise that this crappy little microphone, it's missing audio, it's missing certain stuff. So when you're in the back end trying to work on something, like, I really can't clean this up. Like, what do you want from me? Like, it's a crappy microphone, but you get the better microphone, it picks up more. It's able to, you can manipulate it. Like some cameras, for an example. The people don't realize that cameras, depending on the model and the make, it captures everything. It's data, right? From the one little megapixel to everything else around it, it's capturing light. It's like literally what is it looking at? What are you pointing at? And how much can I soak in? Because on the back end, you want as much as possible. You want to manipulate as much as possible. You want that because you got a vision, right? I want something here. I want to dim something over there. The crappier the camera, it's not picking up on all of that. It won't capture all the color. It won't capture the pixels. It's blurry. It's like having a 2 megapixel camera versus like a 40 megapixel camera, right? There's going to be a difference.
Oh yeah,
definitely. And it's about what you're able to manipulate on the back end. And people don't realize that, and again, my ears aren't trained. So all I heard was the same freaking thing, but to them, I'm like, no, I'm telling you, there's a difference.
And the crazy thing, a lot of artists are like that, especially the ones that have their home setup and stuff like that. And it was like, man, the way you mixed that one song when we was at that big studio, I'm just gonna do it from the house, and can you do it like that? I'm just like, for one, we're in 2 different rooms. You have lesser equipment. Your room is not treated. You have no panels or dead space whatsoever. I can't make you sound like that. This only can be done in that room or a room closer to that. And when you tell them that, but I got the same kind of microphone. You got the clone version. That's not the same microphone. This is the vintage. That's a clone. That is not the same microphone. He said, "Oh, no wonder. I was wondering why that shit was so cheap." I was like, "Yeah." So you try to tell them, they don't get it. They just, it's. But hey, that's where you come. That's your job, is to interpret and explain to them that, hey, it's not the same. But if you want to achieve that sound, we can go back to the same spot, or we can get as close as we can with what you got. But it's not going to be the same.
It won't be the same.
No.
What's the most important part when engineering an artist?
The performance, meaning the artist's job. If the performance is not up to part and you don't do your end, there's going to be a lot more work that I have to do in post. It's one of those things that if you do your part, you perform that shit with your heart and you pour those emotions out, you're gonna feel it in post. And then it will be less things that I have to do. Not saying, you're trying to make your job a lot easier. No. I'm trying to tell you how this shit is gonna sound if you do your part. There'll be sometimes that even if you do your part, I still have to adjust certain things, but less is more in post, at least to me. And to shout out to Mr. Leslie Breathway, Jason Joshua, all these top guys. These guys go, well, I won't say Jason Joshua, but Leslie Breathway, his motto is less is more. And he said if you use that with life and everything, you'll go farther. So in mixing, I've noticed, and I've been doing this for 9 years now. When I first started, I was loading everything on there. Oh my God, just trying to fix one. Now it's like, oh, wait a minute. You just gotta make sure you singing that shit right. At least get close to it. Make sure you rapping it like you mean it, and then it will come out when I'm doing my little enhancement. Cause I tell the people all the time, whatever you give me is what I enhance. You give me a solid foundation, I'll build you a house. You give me some bullshit, I'll give you some dookie. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you give me is what I enhance. I'm not a magician. So the performance is the most important, at least to me, when recording an artist. So yes,
man, that's real. You know that doing stuff in post. Like, my God, the less work I have to do, the more. I mean, there are literal people that will tell you, like, I could do this job perfectly fine for X amount of money. Then I get there because you described it to me, and I'm like, nah, bro, what is this? I clearly just lied to you because you lied to me, so I lied in return. Now we both lied. No, you're gonna have to pay me more.
Nah.
I'm not doing this for this price. It's not gonna happen. Nah. People just don't realize.
They don't
that.
get it.
They don't understand. So, I mean, you kind of did answer this one too, but I mean, like, can an engineer fix on the back like a bad performance?
Depends on how bad it is, man. Like I said, there's been certain things that I've been able to, like, but then that comes with a lot of processing. in post. That means that I would have to do a lot. I would have to sacrifice or add a lot to pretty much cover up the imperfections, essentially. So it depends. 5 out of 10, I can fix it. The other 5, no. It just depends on how bad it is.
So what's the reverse then, right? Like, could a bad mix ruin a good performance?
Oh yeah. Especially if that guy is just doing too much. Goes back to what I'm saying. If the engineer is doing too much, he would mess up your whole song. He can definitely. That's why I said it. You have to learn, because every song is different. You can't go recording every song or mixing every song assuming, the way we did the last one, we're gonna do it the same. It's not the same song. It's not. You have to literally. It's like, one day you might want to try Chinese. Next day you might want to try Jamaican food. Next day you might want to try African food. But they're all different food. Yeah, they all might have rice and meat, but they're all different. So you have to approach that with that mindset that, this is a different song. So let me not put too much on this one. Let me just keep it subtle. And this one, even though you did well, we might just need to add a little bit more. That's where as an engineer, you have to take your ego out and listen to the record and say, okay, what are you telling me to do? Do you want me to do more? Do you want me to do less? Or how we sounding so far? So it's 50-50 on both ends. You can fuck up a good mix and you can give me a shitty recording. It's either way it goes. That's why we both have to be on the same page. The most important thing I think when it comes to this is chemistry. I tell artists that all the time. I actually had an artist that asked me, what does that mean? I was like, we have to make sure we're in line with each other. We have to make sure that you're Drake, I'm 40. We're on the same page, that I do stuff before you even tell me. I understand your lingo. That's chemistry. That's how it works. It's like magic. It's like casting the light in the bottle, essentially. It's like, but it happens every time. If not, at least 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. There might be times that you might come in and want to record this song, but your mood and I might not be there. I have to be able to read it. So you just want to try a different song? Let's try something else. So yeah, it's 50-50.
So, we're at the point now where we talked a lot. And I'm gonna ask a dumb question. It's not. No, there is no dumb questions, right? But what's the difference between an engineer and a producer?
There's a difference. Engineer can be a producer, because like I said, producing is more than one thing. Most people, I don't know if I'm interpreting this right. What's the terminology when you put something in a catalog, or you put it in its own
vision board?
Like, what's the terminology you're saying? Oh, I guess catalog. Yeah, try to catalyze in a catalog or whatever the word is, and said, producing is only for people that make beats. If that's the case, then why is there a beat maker and a producer? A beat maker is a person that just make beats or just grab a bunch of sound. That's why I consider myself a beat maker, because still a lot I need to learn about it. But I can also produce the sound. And usually when I'm making a beat, if I can't, especially when it comes to like sounds and like maybe midis and playing stuff, if I can't do it well, I will use my vocals. I will manipulate it with my vocals and then turn it into an instrument. So that's that term that's producing as well. And then an engineer is somebody, it's kind of like similar to the guy that just did with the technical aspect of whatever comes out. The guys you see at the seminars and behind the board, at the concert, in the studio, TVs, that's an engineer. Those guys, we are the one that has to make the overall quality sound rich or real, to where you can feel it once again. So to me, the difference is just pretty much on the same playing field. It's just how you interpret it. I can do a such thing as vocal producing. I might not be making a beat, but I'm telling you, hey, hit this note like this. That's producing. And the engineer is just somebody that just say, you like that? Cool. I'm gonna make a cut right here. I'm gonna glue your vocals together here. That's essentially the same playing field, but different walks, so to say. So yeah.
All right. Last 2 questions, because we've been here for a minute. I'm starting to sweat.
It is hot in here, but I go to shit outside. So
always business, never pleasure, or never personal.
Always business, never personal.
Always
always.
What does that mean to you?
Always business, never personal. Meaning that if I tell you my price is this, and you get upset, hey, it's nothing personal, bro. It's just business. Or if I come to you, let's say we don't get along, but I know you can do that job well, I'm gonna hire you for the job, not because I don't fuck with you, I don't like you. No, He the best man for the job. You don't gotta like the motherfucker. Can he do the job well? Yeah. Keep it business. Never personal. I'm gonna hire you still because I rather we get the job done than to let my personal vendetta or personal feelings get in the way. I ain't fucking with you. I ain't gonna hire his ass. But I know damn well you the man for the job. So guess what? I'm gonna hire you still, but I ain't gonna fuck with you. I'm just gonna pay you for the service and keep it pushing. That's what that means to me.
As people should. Don't narc on somebody. Hey, I'd rather get the job done right and know it's gonna be done right than to sit there and be like, I ain't gonna hire him because I don't like him. Okay, well.
And it's so crazy because at least in this industry, we hear this all the time that there used to be a term that the people that you don't like is probably the people you're gonna do the best business with, just because of the chemistry and how it is. I don't fuck with you, but it's almost egos once again. Top of the tops. If we meet halfway and you do your part, I do my part, hey, we both got paid. Yeah, but we ain't gotta talk to each other. That's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. So yeah.
All right, give me one more goal this year.
One more goal this year. One more goal this year. Accepting my flaws for who I am, or accepting my trauma, or whatever it is. I'm accepting the balance of life, essentially. Instead of always looking for the good parts, as if life ain't all about good and bad. You know, somebody has to play the bad guy for us to understand what the fuck is good, you know? So I'm accepting my flaws of life. So that's one of my biggest things. That I'm accepting me for who I am and saying, you know what? That's me. It is what it is. It happened what it is, and I'm just gonna accept it for who I am and keep it pushing and not let it push me or deter me from achieving the next step in life, because I'm scared of what the past looked like. The past is the past. We all have one. So it's like, yeah, just accepting flaws, really. Yeah.
I'm loving it. For 2025, that's what we're all going to do. Accepting our flaws, working on that, healthy practices, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Healthy habits, man. Coming soon.
So how can people find you?
Oh, man, you can find me on Instagram at labratentertainment.com. You can find me on, I have my website coming soon this year. It will be labrat@glossgenius.com, or word of mouth. That's probably the best way to find me, because people will talk when you do a good job. So anybody needs service with mixing, mastering, recording, I know a lot of big studios we can go if you want the aesthetics. You can find me at Mini Aha Recording Studio. You can contact them. They can get in contact with me. The Pearl Recording Studio, you can contact them. They can get in contact with me. Or, just look me up. Just type in Lab Rat Entertainment on Google. I'll pop up. I'm the only Lab Rat. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. Let me tell y'all something. Man, the other day, it was 2024. All right, man. You know how you do that thing with everybody. You be like, "Yo, I'll see y'all next year." Yeah. I'll see y'all later. Cause you're trying to be cute. Trying to be cute, man. Grown man trying to be cute. Talking about some next year. I see you next year. Yeah, I bet next year. You owe you money. I'll pay you next year. Yeah. Stop. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. The other day, when I was out on a roller coaster, vibing it out in Florida with the crocodiles, zip line. I wanted to zip line. I didn't get the chance to zip line, but I wanted to zip line above the crocodiles. And you know what I wanted? I want to throw all my little business cards at them. Say, hey, Wash Chocolate Espresso podcast. Come on, man. You know what you got to do. Listen, we going to turn up this year.
No,
we going to turn up this year. We got to get more. We want more. I'm feeding for more. You know what I'm saying? I got to get that more.
We have to.
Come on, man. You got to help me out. Look, I'm trying to make this my 9 to 5. You feel
Primary.
me?
Only job.
Only one. I don't want to be doing anything else.
I
don't want nothing else. I want to be able to come here whenever I feel like it.
Hey.
Edit when I feel like it.
Hey.
Get more people and record when I feel like it.
Hey.
That's it. That's it. Come on. Man,
y'all gotta like, share, and subscribe, man. It's nothing but a quick. You ain't paying for it, and you don't know how it might benefit you down the line. Just like, share, subscribe. Even if you don't want to do that, just subscribe. Just give us that, and we'll take the rest.
Come on. 2025. That's all you got to do. Like, share, and subscribe.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.